All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is 4 p.m.-ish West Coast time here Wednesday, April 26th. We're looking at 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 7 p.m. on that East Coast, 6 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Mad Statter. This is Chatter with Statter, and I am super stoked to see that Tina Rose Cager is in the house on the YouTube side, coming through on my Twitch stream, which says to me that the chats are cross acting. In the house also, we have got Michael Anthony Smith, Kenny from the Cove, and I'm guessing that Orange Crush must be in the house here because he's all over there gifting Lono a sub. So thank you so much, Orange Crush 83, paying it forward. Super stoked we've got everyone here today. Especially stoked we've got Tina Rose. All right, so just so you know, if you're noticing the lighting's weird, it is weird. I left my front door open. I'm going for an experiment. I don't know if I like the experiment, but for right now, we're gonna keep that front door open. And yeah, maybe all my neighbors will get to hear what this live cast is all about today. All right, so here I am, Mad Statter. Here you are, Statterbox crew. Why don't we get the party started, shall we? Let's do it. Okay, here we are again. Now, Tina Rose Cager, no, you do not get to stop by very often. That's why I'm so excited to see you. Because here's the deal, Tina. Even though you're not here in the Statterbox crew all the time, I've actually talked about you on my stream. Because here's the deal. Rick and Darlene shared a picture that you were in, and I showed the picture. So even though you're not here on a regular basis, a lot of us know who you are. We even know what you look like. Yes, we do. In fact, if we hung out with Andy Boomatai at all, we would also know what you look like, because Andy's been showing off that picture that was on your social medias where you got to meet Andy Boomatai at the front row center at the Hilo show just last week, I believe. So small kind, jealous over here. That being said, one day, Andy will probably make it to the mainland. Maybe. But if he does, there's a good chance he's going to make it to my area. Not 100% chance, but a good chance. So thank goodness for being on the West Coast. And Tina Rose, Michael Anthony, I'm not sure if you were here yesterday, Michael Anthony, or no, wait. Today is Wednesday, so last stream would have been Sunday. I'm not sure how many of you were here last Sunday when I was showing off my incredible failures that just did not end up working out. Oh, well, that's okay, Michael Anthony Smith, because what I showed off was a bunch of stuff that I didn't get done. Huh? Yeah, exactly. But today I have a good explanation for why these things did not happen. And so we will be talking about that for a quick minute. However, I feel like I wanted to talk about something even more quicker firster. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about even more quicker firster. All right, so for weeks upon weeks now, I've been promising and failing to fulfill my promise. Some people might even say I'm a liar. I've been lying. Well, not intentionally. It just sort of happened that way. But we got it. We finally got it. And I wish Kulika was here to see what we got. But that's okay. If he comes in later on, we'll talk about this again. But as per Kulika's request, many, many weeks ago, as promised, too many weeks ago to even count, we have it. We have it. Here, can I? Oh, there we go. The Man from Snowy River. That is right. This Saturday, Statterbox at the Cinema is going to be showing The Man from Snowy River. This was a request by Kulika, fulfilled by the King County Library System. Now, this is the second time I requested this. The first time I flaked because it was tax season. But today, alas, I had enough time to do things and stuff. I managed to get the DVD. And not only did I manage to get the DVD, you guys, check this out. Okay, this, I don't even know. Obviously, I was meant to get my blood drawn today. So, we're not really going to talk about doctor's offices or anything, but I did have to go in to get some hormone levels checked. And, you know, they gotta take some blood and stuff. You guys, I almost didn't do it, but because, you know, labs, you can just, at my doctor's office, you can just walk in and get the labs. And sometimes you have to wait a really long time, and other times not so much. So today I was like, I'm not sure if I've got time to get the blood drawn, because I don't know who's ahead of me in line, right? So I was like, well, the stream starts at 4, and I'm in my car right next to the clinic, and I'm like, well, it's 3:02, right? Okay, so you guys, 3:02 is when I pull into the clinic. I park my car, I get out of my car, I walk to the clinic. I walk to the laboratory get your ticket button, and I push the button. As I'm pushing the button, the laboratory clinic door opens and says, patient number 191, 192, and I look at the ticket that just came out of the machine, and I was ticket 192. So literally, press the button, I hear 192, I take my ticket, that's me! So I walk in, don't even have to sit down, walk in, am the second one to get the blood drawn, walk out, get back in my car, left the parking lot at 3:12. The entire thing took literally 10 minutes. And when I say the entire thing, I mean from in the parking lot to exit the parking lot. It took 10 minutes from start to finish. And as I walked out, I was like, well, I guess there was time. And I'm very, very glad that I bothered to stop in, because I don't think it could have been any quicker. Even if I was the first person in line, I'm not so sure it could have been any flippin' quicker. So, exactly, Michael Anthony Smith. Very rarely do I walk out of a doctor's office just being like, I'm a rock star, you know? But today, I walked out of that doctor's office, I'm a rock star, you know? I just felt so flippin' awesome. It was super cool. And I have to say, way cooler than what it is Kenny from the Cove is talking about. So McLennan County around Waco is truly getting their rears handed to them by a horrible thunderstorm, baseball-sized hail, and rotation in the storm. Glad that's way north of you. Yeah, totally. So, when you say rotation in the storm there, Kenny, does that mean like the thunderstorm's thinking about becoming a tornado or a hurricane? Do hurricanes form over land? Okay. Yeah, see, these are things I don't know. Hey, Kayla, good to see you. All right, here in Tina Rose. So much fun seeing Darlene and Rick. Brought Cocoa Puffs to lunch at Haleiwa. Andy's show was good fun too. Had dinner at a Thai place. Num, num, num. Yummy, yummy, yummy for the Thai foods. And as far as the Cocoa Puffs go, I've actually never had one before. Because honestly, cream puffs really, they look like they would be something I would love. And they're always like so disappointing when I bite into them. Chocolate eclairs too. It's just like, oh my god, those look so disappointing. I don't know if I like that. And so, I've never tried the Cocoa Puffs. I have to say though, they do look good. And let's see here. Tina Rose, they wouldn't let Frank eat with you. They stopped seating at 8:30 and he got there at 8:35. Oh, wow. Oh, that must have been really awkward. Oh, no. So what, did he have to leave? Or did he just get to sit there and watch you and Andy eat? Oh, that's awkward. Oh, no. I shouldn't laugh, because actually that's like super awkward. I hope he found some place to eat. So, yeah. And let's see here, Kenny, it's got strong tornadic ability, but nothing tornado-ish is dropping out of the clouds. Okay, so no houses, no witches, no cows. Oh my. Got it. Yeah, I guess he went somewhere else. All right. Well, hopefully there was someplace else. Because, you know, sometimes some towns, like, they roll up real early. You know, in my town, honestly, if it's after 9 p.m. on a weekday, good luck finding someplace to eat. I mean, there's a couple places, but for the most part, 9 p.m. is really when dinner stops getting served. And I don't live in a town that's very small. I mean, my town is over 50,000 people. It's, you know, one of the bigger cities in the state. I mean, not the biggest city by any stretch, but you know, towns in Washington that are over 50,000, I think there's only like 20 of them in the whole entire state. And my town happens to be one of them. So you'd think we would have some 24-hour offerings. And I mean, I guess we do. We do have Denny's.
Hey, Kyle, play one song for me.
It just never really occurs to me to go to Denny's. So, I mean, I suppose I should if they're open, but it just never occurs to me. And let's see here. Okay, yeah, right. Saturday night in Hilo, I guess there's probably something popping off a little later than 8:30. I guess that makes sense. And Kenny, though, now there's stuff popping up west of you. You may have to grab a batch of Gone before this stream is over. That makes sense. And Kayla, yeah, go find a Taco Bell, but that's not, like, Taco Bell's not food. Like, when I say, like, eating, going to get a meal, Taco Bell is not a meal. Taco Bell is a snack that you can, like, yeah, it's not, no. And Gene, although you're right, Kayla, there does come a point in town where it's like, well, Taco Bell and Denny's are basically the only options. No, that's not true. We've got Jack in the Box too, and Jack in the Box is open 24 hours, so there is that. But in regards to, like, real sit-down restaurants, not even fancy, just, sitting down. The 9 and 10 o'clock hour is really when it's the final countdown over here. And let's see here. So, Hilo goes to bed early every night is what you're saying, Tina. See, I kind of thought that might be the case in Hilo. That's why I was like, I hope he finds a place to eat, because I know that a lot of tourist towns that aren't necessarily nightlife oriented, they really, like, roll up early. It's like, yeah, we're closed, we're done. People went to bed. We're done at 8. And Gina, it's okay if you snuck in late. Don't even worry about it. Everybody has things and stuff to do. And as long as you're able to swing in for a quick minute, we're super stoked. And even if you can't swing in for a quick minute, that's okay, because life always takes precedent over, or let me say this again, real life always takes precedent over streaming life. And for those of you who rolled in a little bit late and are looking at what's going on with the lighting, and it's just like, I don't really know if I like what she's done with the lighting. Yeah, I don't really know if I like what I've done with the lighting either. But what I've done with the lighting is I left my front door open, because today was mid-60s, which is the first over 60s weather we've had this entire year, probably for the last 6 months. And I figured, you know what? It's warm enough at the moment to have my front and my back doors open, get a nice cross breeze through here, and just air out the winter funk. Just air out the house. And so eventually, after some point, I'm probably going to get really cold, and I'll need to shut that door. But until then, we're gonna have this weirdness. And Pacola T, the Lure Queen, listening in today. So glad that you're checking in. So happy to see you. So no worries about having to lurk. And by the way, thank you so much for subscribing for those 18 months. And Gina, you're making an effort to tune and practice your ukulele. Yeah, good job. See, exactly. Get your hobbies going on, get your focus happening. Last night, a couple days ago, I ended up feeling very disappointed with the topic that we will be talking about shortly, and not getting any footage that I was seeking. And so I was at my office, looking out the office window at the view that I have, and boom, lo and behold, 2 bunnies came racing across the yard. And so I was like, ooh. So then I got out my cell phone, and I was like, I'm going to videotape the bunnies. So I videotaped the bunnies, then the bunnies left. And so then I was doing other work, and then a bunny came, and then a squirrel came, and then another squirrel came. And so I was like, oh, cool. So then I got, some footage of the bunnies and the squirrels, and they were playing. It was all cute. And I was like, yes, I've got some footage that I might be able to show. So I took that footage home, and I downloaded it onto my computer, and I realized, wow, man, like, bunnies are really camouflaged. Whoa, dude, like, even though I knew what I was looking for, it was hard to see. Bunnies are very camouflaged in the grass. And Kenny from Cove, it's just Wild Kingdom over at Sat. No, this was actually at my work. So the So anyway, so I put together this video and I'm like, well, it's cool and all, but the bunny is really hard to see. And the squirrels weren't much easier to see either. And so at that point, I was like, I'd really like to zoom in, but I don't know how to do that on my video editing software yet. So I realized, well, this is the newest learning curve for my video software. And so last night I kind of delved deep into learning what not to do. Haha, that's what I did last night. And so I don't have anything to share in regards to that. But I do know that once I do have the bunny and the squirrel video, it A, won't be very good, and B, I will have learned a lot from it, and C, that means I'm going to share it with you guys, because that's the whole flipping point of this stream. Not waiting until things are perfect to show them off. Learning and getting joy in learning and sharing that you're learning is the whole point. And that is the point of my little spiel to you there, Gina, which is I'm super stoked that you're learning and telling everybody that you're learning and sharing that you're learning, because that, like I said, is kind of the impetus behind this whole situation we've got going on. Michael Anthony Smith, I have got an Android. I do not use iPhones. I use Androids. And what kind of Android? Really good question. Why don't we find out? Looks to me like it's a Samsung. And you can tell how much I really care about the newness of my tech gear, right? 'Cause I don't even know. I don't know. Let's see. It's a Samsung Galaxy S21 5G. That's what I got. Samsung Galaxy S21 5G. And so, it's got a pretty good camera. I've been told, in fact, actually, I did not buy the cell phone with the camera specs in mind. I bought the cell phone, I believe, long before, well, not long, but a little while before I started streaming. But then, after I started streaming, I looked at the phone the video specs of the phone that I had, and as it turned out, for the time that I bought the phone, it had one of the highest tech phones, or highest tech cameras in the phones on the market at the moment. I don't even know if that made sense. Either way, apparently it's a good camera, apparently. So, let's see here. Kayla, you're kind of learning new stuff most of the time. No, you would go out, you would go out and all, but no thanks. Got it. And let's see here. So, oh, good. You're building some shelves there, Tina. Awesome. All right, so, let's see if I missed anything. And, all right, there we go. It looks like we got most of it. Okay, oh, Michael Anthony Smith, try pinching. Oh, okay. Michael Anthony Smith, I know how to zoom on the phone. I see where yeah, same thing with the Android. The key here is the video has already been taken. So the video is now off of my phone, and now it's just raw video that I need to manipulate and zoom in on within the video editing software. And that's where I'm talking about. Now, in regards to, like, if I had done the zooming while I was filming, oh, dude, yeah, I know how to do that. Although the fact that you thought I didn't, very consistent with my brand. In fact, I'm kind of glad you didn't think I knew how to do that, because that is very consistent with the kind of thing I would not know how to do. But no, that part I do know how to do. It's the post-production type of manipulation that I need to learn. So last night I fiddled with the things and stuff, ruined a couple things and stuff, but I still had the raw video, so it was fine. So today the plan is to maybe watch some YouTube videos that, might teach me how to do things and stuff. Because YouTube videos are very, very good for learning how to do things and stuff. I just didn't bother to do those last night. Last night, I was just like, I figured it out. Here we have a Morgan Freeman narrator coming over. The truth is, she did not really figure anything out. Yeah, that's that. But hey, Comfortably Yum, good to see you. Yes, we are live, both streaming YouTube and Twitch side. Looks like you're coming from the YouTube side, which makes me super stoked. So hit that like button if you are watching YouTube on YouTube side. And let's see here. Kenny from the Cove, Chuck E. Cheese with its games and buffet is Las Vegas for kids. Oh, abso-flippin'-lutely. Chuck E. Cheese is 100% getting the kids ready for Vegas. There's no two ways about that. All right, you guys. So, I know that nobody but Kenny cares about this, but I'm going to tell you anyway, because Kenny's here. So, last couple weeks, I have been not going to the grocery store, which means the last couple weeks, I have been without my Pamplemousse. My Pamplemousse has been gone. This is the first Pamplemousse I've had in probably close to a month. And so, you guys, if you hear a random burp in the background, it's me, because I drank the Pamplemousse too fast. And yeah, Michael Anthony Smith, go get something to eat. You feel weak and hungry. That is definitely when you need to be, actually, you need to be eating something before you're at that stage. But speaking as someone who regularly gets to where you're at before I bother, when you're weak and hungry is when you need to eat. Which is why I scarfed down a bunch of chicken rice right before I got on here, because I was feeling a little weak and hungry too. I'd gotten some blood drawn. I hadn't eaten anything but coffee all day. So yeah, I had some chicken rice, and now it's my Pamplemousse time. And for those of you who aren't familiar, Pamplemousse is how I say the French word for grapefruit. And I say it that way because I know that it bothers any and all native French speakers, or even if they're not native French speakers, even if they'd like to just pretend they speak French, they get really tense and annoyed when I say Pamplemousse. And so, because I'm 15 years old and I like to just be annoying to be annoying, I guess, I call it Pamplemousse. Mm-hmm. Cheers. Okay, but this is the real story, you guys. This is the real story. Last Sunday, I told you tales of woe because I went out looking for this particular boat. The Hokulea. The Hokulea is a double-hulled outrigger canoe that has made many journeys across the Pacific around the world since the 1970s. The Hokulea left Oahu last week, and let's see here. All right, Mokola tea. I'm sipping Pamplemousse in Washington. That's exactly it. Comfortably Yum, just for context, proper pronunciation. Okay. Comfortably Yum. Proper pronunciation, as best a non-French speaker can say, would be Pamplemousse. Now, I'm sure a real French speaker would just be like, that ain't it either, but it's closer. But Pamplemousse, or something along those lines. is how you're supposed to say Pamplemousse. But I say Pamplemousse instead of Pamplemousse. And so there we go. Darlene in the house. All right, it is about, let's see here, 1:30 in the afternoon Hawaii time. Darlene and Rick, looks like they came back from the swap meet. Had to gas up at Costco and get a few groceries. Perfect. Darlene, I can only assume since you are here right now that you guys didn't do the whole swap meet. Because from what I could tell, that swap meet would take like 2 weeks to go through the entire flipping thing. That swap meet is huge. I basically saw like one tiny arm of it and was like, what more could there be, you know? And I already bought everything, and so I was like, all right, it's time to go. And then I got in my car and I like started driving around the stadium, and I was like, I think I saw like 1/10 of it. I mean, like, that flippin' swap meet is incredible. So I don't know what you got there, but I was told by locals, and I can confirm, any kind of touristy whateverness that you're gonna get to bring home, you know, like keychains, wallets, nut dishes, sarongs, t-shirts, dresses, whatever, the swap meet is where you get it. Forget the ABC stores. The ABC stores might be where you want to get your sunscreen and your quick musubi and maybe a can of Coke. But when it comes to the souvenirs you're bringing home, for sure, definitely, the swap meet is where to go. Kenny, I should be sporting my Pamplemousse shirt, except, as I mentioned earlier, it is a very warm day today, and actually, I think the Pamplemousse shirt would have been a little bit too hot. And for those of you who don't know what he's talking about, Kenny had a shirt made for me. It's a black shirt, and it just has a white moose outline. But then the moose, so it's a moose, you know, silhouette of a moose. And then it says Pample right above that, so it's a Pamplemousse. And yeah, it's an inside joke, and like nobody gets it. Although actually, my boss's brother saw it one day when I was wearing it to work, and he was just like, "Is that a joke about grapefruit?" And it was just like, "Whoa, have you been secretly watching my show?" And he's like, "I don't know what you mean by that. Is that a joke about grapefruit?" And I was like, "Yes, it is a joke about grapefruit." So somebody actually did get it and didn't even know the context. And let's see. So Darlene, you got there as soon as they opened and went through part that and had what we wanted, did the same thing, then drove around and saw what you missed too, but you were tired. Exactly, Darlene, honestly, I don't think you can go through that swap meet in one day. Nor do I think you really need to go through the entire swap meet, because a lot of the vendors have a lot of the similar stuff. I guess the only reason why you'd really want to go is just to make sure, like, well, that vendor sold the same sarong for $4 instead of that one over there that sold it for $5. You know, and at that point it's like, yeah, but we just walked around for 8 hours to save $1. I think we could have paid $5 and I would have been fine with it, man. So yeah, there's that. And so, okay, so, and by the way, comfortably, I like how you quote me. You're supposed to sigh. Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, whenever someone starts off a pronunciation of a French word that starts with the phrase, "you're supposed to sigh," you should probably not listen to what they say after that. Because even if they're trying to be right, there's a good chance they're not. You're supposed to sigh. Pamplemousse. So, okay, so now that we've got that scattered, and we're going to probably get scattered again before we finish with this topic, Hokulea. Hokulea is what I was trying to get footage of last Friday afternoon, because, as I was mentioning, it is getting ready to go on a 4-year-long voyage around the Pacific Rim, and It left Honolulu, I believe, April 18th or something along those lines. It was scheduled to get to Tacoma on April 21st. April 21st, I spent the entire day scouring the vessel watcher websites to see when the ship with the Hokulea moored into Tacoma, and then when they were going to tow it up to Seattle, because I knew that they had plans to land in Tacoma, tow it up to Seattle. They would tow it to Seattle, and then at Seattle they would get on an Alaskan Marine Lines container ship, I'm assuming, and then it would be sent up to Alaska. Now, silly me thought that would be done on the same day that it arrived in Tacoma. It was not. So all of the vessels that I went out to track and all the vessels that I went out to video, as if you were here on Sunday, you got to see, one of them was a military barge that I tracked, not the Hokulea, and one of them was an oil barge that I tracked. Once again, not the Hokulea. Now, what is the Hokulea, you ask? I will tell you in a second. There, whoa, oh, nope. There we go. That is the Hokulea in its full glory. Obviously, the sails and the masts, etc., are not up during shipping, so it's really just, the whole of the boat, etc., etc. Well, I mean, they're shipping everything, but you just, see the whole of the boat. All right, so super disappointed in myself for not catching the footage. Really, really bummed. Was, considered myself not a very good videographer, and was generally just really bummed. And I guess it's true, I'm not a videographer, but I am a bit of a sleuth. And with a little bit of sleuthing, I found a Facebook feed that had all the answers that I needed. And it wasn't a Facebook feed you would normally think. In fact, this Facebook feed has nothing to do with Hawaii at all. This Facebook feed, where all of these pictures came from, all of these pictures are union made. International Labor Workers Union number 20, local 23 out of Tacoma. Their page had all the info. What? The International Labor Workers Union local 23 is where you needed to be to get this stuff. So, this is some pictures that the local union workers took of the boat getting offloaded, getting ready to be offloaded, getting towed. That's the yacht that's towing the Hokulea. The Hokulea, by the way, is still in Tacoma. Now, that's the size of the Hokulea in comparison to the ship, the Matson ship that was used to ship it from Hawaii. All right, so boop-a-doom, there we go, getting towed by the yacht. I can't remember who the guy is who owns the yacht, but they're towing it to the Foss Waterway in Tacoma, right next to the Foss Tugboat Shipyard Museum. And it's going to be there until May 1st, which means I still have some time to at least go down to the Foss Waterway in Tacoma and get some pictures of the ship. And I do have, it is vaguely within the realm of possibility that I might still be able to get a picture of, or a video, of the boat being towed into the port of Seattle, especially now that I know that it's a pleasure craft, a yacht, that is the one that's going to be towing it. It'll be a lot easier to track on the Vessel Watch systems. And so, like I said, all of these pictures today, that were not all of them, all these pictures that we're watching right now in this particular slideshow, pictures were all provided by the International Labor Workers Union. Now, not only did the International Labor Workers Union provide us these pictures, they also are the only ones that were able to give me, hold on, where did it go? Yeah. They were the only place that I could find. Uh-oh. No. What am I trying to find? Help. Where did it go? No. There we go. Good Lord. All right. This is the map. Next 4 years, this is where the Hokulea is going to be sailing. Now, you would think that this map would be available somewhere on the Pacific Voyaging Society website, somewhere. Haven't seen this map any place. But the International Labor Workers Union Local 23 had it and posted it. And so, started in Hawaii, shipped up to Tacoma, gonna be shipped up to Alaska. It's gonna come back down the West Coast, all the way to South America. It's gonna go across the South Pacific, through to through all of the Oceania, Eritrea, aka New Zealand, up Australia, through Indonesia, up through to Japan, and then once it gets to Japan, it's gonna get shipped again from Japan to Los Angeles, and then it's gonna sail from Los Angeles back to Hawaii, back to Tahiti, and then back to Hawaii again. So, this is the actual map that they're going to be going by in the next 4 years. Now, I've got a couple other pictures, you guys. So the Polynesian Voyaging Society, they were also on hand for the dismounting. The dismounting, that's not what it is. The unloading, the offloading, the stuff and the things, they were there to get some pictures of the boat too. And this is what the boat looks like now in the Foss Waterway near the Foss Shipyard Museum in Tacoma. And so there they are, getting ready to be towed out of the shipyard slip that they were offloaded in. That's the yacht that's going to be towing them. And I can't remember dude's name, but I read what dude's name was, but I'm not going to tell you because I can't remember. That's how that works. And so there we go. That is what the boat is looking like now. And that is what it looks like. They're waiting at the what is it? The Maritime Heritage Museum, I think is what it's called. And so, so there you go. And then let's see here. So the details. So this is, that's the map. And then the details of the dates. It looks like June through September is going to be Alaska, British Columbia, and Seattle. So I'm assuming sometime in September, it'll be back in Seattle. And then September through November, going down the West Coast. January through February, Mexico, Central America, South America. And then March through December, exploring the largest country in the world, our country, Polynesia. And so that is going to be the real, ocean testing. And as you can see from there, New Zealand, Micronesia, etc., ending in Japan, shipping from Japan to LA, and then sailing home to Hawaii, and then down to Tahiti, and then back to Hawaii again. So that is the super cool thing. Now, you might also remember I was finger crossing and hoping with my fingers crossed. And yeah, exactly, Darlene, justice, a map for the map person that I am, and now I can follow its route. I gotta tell you, man, when I stumbled upon this map, I gave it so many thumbs up and loves on the ILWU Local 23 page. That Labor Workers Union page was the magical portal to the info that I needed. Who'd have thunk it? But my mom was a bit of a sleuth, and I have to say, I guess I'm I was always told as a kid, you're too nosy. You ask too many questions. They were right. But when you're too nosy and you ask too many questions, you end up finding out the information that you're looking for sometimes. And this time it was actually successful. So super stoked. Now, you might also remember I was hoping that the hey Ann, we're so good to see you. Oh my goodness, Ann, it's been so long since you've been able to come into the chat. I'm so happy to see you here. Ann, as many of you know, is a moderator for Andy Pigeon's Daily Pigeon podcast, but she's also been in school, learning how to do things and stuff, and now that she's not in school, she's got time to hang out online again, which makes me so happy because I kind of missed her. I kind of missed Ann hanging out, but you know, life gets in the way of online stuff, so you gotta do life first. But okay, so as I was saying, so Ann, just so you know, we're talking about. Hold on, where did it go? We're talking about the Hokulea, and we're talking about its 4-year trip to. Is this it? Yeah, it's 4-year trip across the world. And how I was hoping to get video footage of the Hokulea getting towed from Tacoma to Seattle, but I did not. But part of the reason why I didn't is because that part of the journey hasn't happened yet. So it's a very good reason why I didn't get the footage. It hasn't happened yet. So I'm hopefully going to do that. But I was also saying last Saturday. We're going to say last Sunday. I was also saying that every summer there is a paddle event for the Northwest Salish Sea tribes and other local tribes, the coastal tribes, etc. They paddle into the Salish Sea for a gathering. And I was hoping that the Hokulea would be making their way from Alaska down into the Seattle area to coincide the time with the other tribal paddles. And I can confirm that's not what's going to happen. How do I know? Because just the other day they released the timeline and the map of who is participating and at what stops that particular paddle is going to be taking place, when, who, where, etc. And so, if you're familiar with what I refer to as the Salish Sea is the inland waters of the Pacific Northwest, which is typically considered the Puget Sound, the Strait of Juan de Fuca, and the Queen Charlotte Island inland part, eastern side of Vancouver Island. It's the inland marine waters of our area is the Salish Sea. It has been inhabited for at least 20,000 years by our local native tribes. And every year they like to have a paddle to get together, and this year this is what the paddle is going to look like. This is the close-up of it, and then there's another larger picture of that's the actual poster of the map with the scale and the legend and the whole nine, but that's kind of hard to read. So this is the zoom in, and this is where all of those little tribes, every different line represents a different tribe and lineage of tribe, family of tribes. And so they will be making the paddle to the Muckleshoot, which is in the central to south Puget Sound area, central area, I guess. And so all of the local tribes will be doing that. However, that'll be taking place in late July. And so, unfortunately, the Hokulea won't be heading back down to Seattle again until September 2023. This paddle will be taking place in July of 2023. So, those two paddles are not going to be happening at the exact same time, which is too bad. But at the same time, possibly for the better, because they are two very different styles of boats, two very different cultures. In fact, actually, within the tribal communities that take place in the Salish Sea paddling, there are many different tribal communities. For instance, the tribes that are on the ocean, where did it go? The tribes that are on the ocean coast, those tribes are considered coastal Indian culture, and that is a very different culture than our Salish Sea culture. The tribe that you might be most familiar with from the Washington coastal area is the Makah tribe. Not Makaha, Makah tribe. And they are the tribe that is in the upper left pointiness of the state of Washington. That dark green area on the upper left-hand part of the peninsula of the state of Washington, that's where the Makah tribe is. And they gained national and international fame because they petitioned the United States government to begin hunting for whale again. And they were one of the first tribes in the United States to actually have permission to go hunting whale once again. It's considered such an integral part of their culture that even though the United States does have a ban on whaling, they actually have permission to harvest a whale every year. They do not harvest a whale every year, but they have permission to do so. And then within their community, they are allowed to distribute the meat. However, if I were to be caught with any whale meat, be it native whale meat or not native whale meat, I would be in trouble because I am not allowed to possess. I am not of any tribal heritage. I have no tribal blood. There is no good gosh darn reason for me to have that meat. Even if it was gifted to me by a tribal member who harvested the meat himself, me having it would actually be illegal. So, it's very well regulated. They keep track of who has what meat, etc., etc. My point here is the coastal regions, the coastal tribes do have a very distinct and different culture than the Salish Sea tribes. So even though they're really close and they both live on roughly the same body of water, they are different cultures for the most part. And let's see here, Pacola Tea, best smoked salmon ever in your life from a Makah tribe backyard barbecue stand or backyard stand. Absolutely, the best smoked salmon that you're gonna get. You're gonna find it on the Olympic Peninsula, and you're gonna find it usually in some random little quickie mart, hole in the wall, whatever, and it's gonna say, caught by George, April 25th on, Queets Creek, and it's just like, that's right, George caught this gosh darn good salmon, and it's delicious, and I'm thankful for George. And so let's see here. Anne, hope I'm feeling okay. It sounds like I have a cold. Yeah, I've got some I feel fine. I've got some things and stuff in my head. I'm gonna chalk it up to the warm weather and maybe some pollen in the air. But actually, I don't know. But good to know that I don't sound right, because I actually do feel like I don't sound right. And exactly, it's the same for eagle feathers. Even if you found it on the ground, you are not allowed to have it. Yeah, so, and Rick, okay. Rick in the house. The chatter's late to the show today, but not late for lunch here. Good deal. And let's see here. Darlene, if they would cook or smoke some and invite you to eat some, it would be okay, right? Absolutely. In fact, Andy has here, hold on. Why am I doing this? Yes, absolutely. In fact, Andy has spoken of eating such forbidden meats given to him by different tribes, because I think that, like, it's the whale that's the most highly regulated, but like walrus and other sea creatures that are not really, you're not going to get them at the local Safeway. I think they're also some of them are under similar regulations. And I know that Andy has had plenty of, the forbidden native meat from this area. And so it's perfectly fine if you are on their property and they have gifted it to you. They have prepared the food for you, and of course, perfectly legal to eat it. You cannot possess it. And so, but perfectly legal to eat. Now, that being said, and I would love to say that, like, I would never be so rude. I feel like I might be so rude. I don't know if I would be able to eat it. If someone like walrus, I can't, Andy said walrus was fine. And I believe, that Andy did think it was fine. I just don't know if I would. And I kind of feel like I hope nobody ever offers me some. Because honestly, I do feel like I would probably end up being completely rude. And I don't want that. So how about you guys have it all for you? And I'll just eat a potato chip, okay? And yeah, exactly, Quality. No doggy bags, in other words. Exactly. So, yeah. And, Rick. Bragging. Here I am bragging about my Pamplemousse. Rick's just like, don't mind me. Just gonna have some blueberry lemon bread. Oh yeah, we just picked it up. Oh, it might have been from Ted's Bakery, but it doesn't really matter because it was actually from the swap meet. And the swap meet has even better bread than Ted's Bakery because it's the swap meet, Just don't mind me. Yeah. Sure, Rick. Sure, Rick. Rub it in. And so now that Rick and Darlene are here, rubbing our noses in it. It's just a Costco thing. And Pinnell, I had salad for dinner. You guys are talking about Ono grinds like walrus and lemon bread. I had salad. Okay, maybe the Ono grinds isn't really the walrus, but with coconut syrup even, Picola tea is just gilding the lily here. Yum. Okay, so you guys, since we're already there eating lemon bread with Rick, sort of, why don't we take a walk with Rick and Darlene? These are pictures that Rick and Darlene took along a beachfront. I guess it's a trail between the highway and the beach or something on the North Shore. All I know is wherever it is, it's a magical portal to heaven. There's a chicken. Do you see the chicken? I see the chicken. I also see wild hibiscuses just along the path. And I see chickens, but I also see baby chickens. Do you see baby chickens? I see 5 of them. There might be more than 5, but I saw 5. And Kenny, you're the adventure eater in your family. You roll the dice on some filet of walrus. Yeah, I just, I'm all about the texture, and so I really just don't know. Now this is, Darlene happened to catch a wild Rickfoot. So that was pretty awesome. That was a rare sighting, Rickfoot in the wild. But I don't know if we're going to see Rickfoot anymore. But she did happen to catch a Rickfoot in the wild in the tropics, which is very unusual because in the tropics, Rickfoots are usually very rare. But she managed to catch one. She was getting some good pictures. And this particular picture, Smile, the world will smile back. I just can't help but wonder if there's a camera somewhere. Because I look at that picture and think, you're letting me know that there's a camera somewhere and that I'm on it. This picture, I think, might be one of my favorites. And, but then again, there's this picture, which also might be one of my favorites. And you can't forget this picture, which might be one of my favorite. No, this isn't one of my favorites, but actually, I really do like bridges. So it is, oddly enough, kind of one of my favorites. And Gina, Lono needs to write a song about the legend of Rickfoot. Exactly. Exactly. So there you have it. So, okay, here's the baby pictures again. Can you see them? Can you see the babies? And can you see 5 of them? If you can see more than 5, let me know. And then I don't know who lives in that trailer, but I would happily live in that trailer. Right there. Trailer Park USA. Sign me up. And then there's our Rickfoot one more time. One more time. We got Rickfoot in the house. Actually, that's not true. Rickfoot doesn't go in any house. Rickfoot lives in the wild. The wild where you find the Jeeps. And Hokulea, exactly, they're little round balls of fluff. And okay, so Rick, that was Sunset Bridge, source of many hours of traffic backups in 2019. Got it. Well, if you're walking over it, no worries. No worries. And so yeah, these are the days of Rick and Darlene's lives that we are now sharing because clearly we're not there. We're here. They're there. And you know how I know that they're there? Because they're taking the pictures of where they're at, and then they're sharing them with us. And so there you go. And let's see here. Oh, I was hoping to get I want to end on the little chickens. So let's see if we can do that. Come on, chickens. Come on, chickens. We're going to end on the little balls of fluff as soon as I find the little balls of fluff. These are not the little balls of fluff. Just so you know. Okay, there's one chicken. It's probably a rooster, actually. Now that I look at it. It's a rooster. Okay, we stop. Oh, no! Oh, no. But no, I wanted to keep showing it. Okay, maybe we won't. There we go. There's the little fluffs. There's the little fluffs. There's the little fluffs. All right, so those are the fluffs. And, uh-oh, now what did I do? Oh, no. Let's see here. Oh, okay, cool. And you can cross the street to Ted's Bakery or Sunrise Shack if you want, all along the path. Nice, nice. Okay, so now I don't know how I made that stop. I wish I knew what I did, because I wanted to do that, but I don't know how I did that. Oh, well, I guess I'll figure that out later. Okay, so that, really, that was 10 to 12 foot waves on those pictures. Today down to 4 to 6. No surfers out today. See, I would think that the 4 to 6, those would be like, okay, actually that's not true. I don't surf, so I don't have there's no such thing as Molly-sized waves. But if there was going to be Molly-sized waves, I would think they would be the 2 to 4 foot ones. Maybe the 4 to 6 foot ones. But the big ones like that? No. 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 Okay, so this is what we were just looking at. Come on. Well, come on. Well, wait, what? But, come on. All right, so this is the coast that we were just looking at, right? And this is kind of, the area that this boat comes from. All right, we're going to go back to a map as soon as I can find the map. All right, now, this is the paddle map for the Pacific Northwest. And over there, out there on the coast, the actual coast, we've got the Quinault, the Queets, the Hoe River, the Quillette, the Makaha, etc., not Makaha. See, even I make that mistake. Macaw. Sort of like a crow, but not. All right, so where they come from looks like this. All right, there you have it. As you can see, Washington is called the Evergreen State for a good gosh darn reason. In fact, when I went to college and was exposed to tons of folks from out of state, the one thing that every single person had to say about Washington who was not from Western Washington was the same thing, which is, I never knew there was so many different shades of green. Because here in Washington, we have got more shades of green, well, than you can shake a stick at, basically. And where do you think that stick came from? The greenery. That's right. That's right. So yeah, even though it's not tropical beauty, without a doubt, not even close to tropical beauty, it is beauty in its own wonderment, and I do appreciate living in an area that has a rainforest that's not that far away. Definitely closer than the rainforests, say, in Hawaii. Now, for those of you who are like, wait, something just happened. What just got different? The lighting changed. I shut my front door. Good eye. Good eye. And let's see here. Rick, your cabin lake is marginal swimming. May be comfortable only in July and August. Yeah, exactly. And like only in that one really shallow area that gets the sunlight, because every place else is still freezing cold. I know lakes like that. Oh yeah, I know lakes like that. And so I wanted to remind you guys, and actually some of you guys might not even know this, but that video that we just saw was literally the first major driving excursion video that I tried to create here for this channel, and I did not have a camera mount for my car. So, in the name of what we've done all the time, if it's one piece of advice I have given over and over on this stream, on other streams, for anybody who's trying to do things and stuff, who's learning how to do things and stuff, who's not really sure if they want to delve deep into it, but you're trying it out, what is the one thing that I say to everybody? Work with what you've got. Work with what you've got. Now, at that point, you know what I had? I had this. You guys might be familiar with something like this. You see this is a tripod. It's a tiny tripod. It's a tiny tripod that has these funky little things, right? Okay. I had this, like this, like this. These legs were grabbed onto my rear view mirror, and the phone was hanging upside down through the windshield doing all these videos. So during a hard corner, sometimes the video would do this. Sometimes the video would do this. Sometimes I'd have to adjust it to do this, that, or t'other. But this thing right here is not meant to be hung from your rearview mirror. And I don't care. I did it anyway. And you know what? It kind of worked, man. So guess what? Once again, what is the lesson here today? Do you need to buy equipment for everything? Or do you need to just look at your bin of stuff and what you've got and figure out, how can I make it work? I made it work. You can too. Remember, I don't know if you were here, many of you were here during one of my earliest of early posted videos, which talked about working with what you've got. And I had a tiny little ring light that was helpful, but due to its limited positioning could get a little glare-y. And so I had to figure out a diffuser. Well, what did I use for my light diffuser? A plastic grocery bag. I tied it around the ring light. I tied the plastic grocery bag around the ring light, and it acted as my diffuser. Why? Because you work with what you got. Now, don't get me wrong. I eventually got better stuff. But before you know you're going to need it, before you know this isn't just a whim and you're really not interested, you're not going to pursue it, there's no point in spending a lot of money that you don't have and that you don't need to spend money on, because if you're just going to throw it away or donate it again or have it sit in your closet, well, then you didn't need it to begin with. Before you go and buy the stuff you're not sure you need, work with what you got. And Pinnell, scarves also work well. Exactly. Speaking of which, Pinnell, over here, not this background, but over past the background, I have another light. And what do you know? It's got a scarf on it to diffuse the light. Because otherwise, this glare is even more glary. And yeah, I know we've got issues. I know. We're gonna deal with that one day. But yeah, scarves. Scarves are great. Mood light diffusers, color depending upon where you shop. Exactly. These are all things that you can get. Or, like I said, you can get them at home. What do you have? Have you done... And Pinelli, you've done videos with all kinds of things. Exactly. And Andy has mentioned it before, and I think Bill Gates was caught doing it. One day he was on some sort of, telecommunications, whatever, using his phone as a video, and Bill flippin' Gates didn't have a good video stand, so he just had a bunch of books that he had his cell phone on that was acting as his camera stand. So if it's good enough for the richest man in the world, it's good enough for us. And okay, fine, Bill Gates might not technically be the richest man in the world anymore, but you know what I'm talking about, right? He's richer than all of us put together. And all right, so we are getting near the bottom of the hour, which means we're going to have to be wrapping things up. But wait. We haven't had our Lono Listening Break. I know. And I specifically chose this song because I love this Lono song. And this song is about paddling the outrigger canoe. It's about paddling the outrigger canoe across the Molokai Channel. It is a race that happens every year. And let's see here. And so I thought I would share it with you. Rick, yeah, too cheap to have one phone stand. Well, Rick, if it's one thing I've known about rich people, is they are cheap. They are cheap. How else do you think they got rich? Because they are cheap. That is one thing I have noticed about rich people. They are cheap. For better or for worse, I mean, I can be all judgmental and all, but at the end of the day, they still got more money than I do, so whatever. But I would like to share with you guys one Lono Listening Break. Yes, one Lono Listening Break. And this is, I believe, Hoe Wa'a O Molokai. And it is about the race between, that goes, I believe it starts in Maui and just goes across the channel. But you know what? Don't quote me on that. Instead, let's just listen to the song. It's a really good one.
Thank you, Ann, Elise, Ware. Thank you very much. Hammerjang Gang. Check that out, huh? Styling. You got them straight? Okay, yeah. Right there. Okay, let me see. Make sure the body is straight, okay? Let me see. Okay. Let's go. kai, kalohi ke kai e olu olu, pa hea mali e. Hoe Wa'a O Molokai, Kamaro holo holo mai, e kanaka kai, kalohi ke kai e olu olu, pa hea mali e. Through. Thank you, Ann. Thank you very much.
All right, there we have it. So that was snuck in a little Lono Listening Break. And it looks like Rick and Darlene will not be hitting up the Spam Festival this weekend in Waikiki. And to tell you the truth, you guys, I don't really blame you. This is what I'm hoping. I am hoping that Photo Luke will brave the crowds for the Spam Jam for all of us. And then we'll just get to watch Photo Luke deal with it. That's what I'm hoping. Yes, I know. Yes, indeed. We'll be missing out on all the Spam delicacies that would be for the offering in the actual event. But here's the deal. Waikiki is already crowded, and Waikiki during Spam Jam seems like it might be even more so. And so, Rick and Darlene, in my opinion, are making the smartest move, which is, let's just stay home on the North Shore. Let's just stay home on the North Shore. And yeah, exactly, Gina. We're throwing Luke under the Spam bus. That is exactly the plan. I am hoping that Luke will brave the Spam for all of us, ma'am. Okay, that was decidedly uncomfortable. So let's see here. All right, so looks like we're a minute past the bottom of the hour, which means I'm already late asking for thanks and giving thanks for everybody who's here today. I am super stoked for all the moderationists who are here and able to help. I'm super stoked for all of the content that Rick and Darlene have given us. I'm also thankful for the content that International Labor Workers Union Local 23 gave us, which was an unexpected piece of info, but it was literally the key to the puzzle that I have been trying to search for. And yeah, as mentioned earlier, on Saturday, we will be watching The Man from Snowy River, but I'm not sure where the DVD just went. Hold on, I think I do. Oh yeah, that was professional right there. Yeah, so on Saturday, The Man from Snowy River is what we will be watching. If anyone can let Kulika know, I'll see if I can let Kulika know, because this was per Kulika's request, and I finally did track it down. So there we have it. Exactly, Rick. I'm not sure if you were here when I was showing those pics, but yes, the union did us good. It was the union that brought it all together. Who would have thunk that International Labor Workers Union number 23 would have all the info on the Hokulea, but they did and they do, and I am forever thankful for that. Also thankful to have all of you here. Hopefully in about 30 minutes we'll see each other again at Daily Pigeon Live. However, if we don't see Darlene and we don't see Rick, they have good excuses because they're in Hawaii and they've got better things to do than be online. However, the fact that they chose to be online with us right now is pretty flippin' awesome. Now, Rick, go finish your cake. Go finish your lemon cake. And I'll just sit here drinking my pickles. All right then. Take care, y'all. See you soon.